All right, here we go. This book club is currently with the Geek Group members in the Geek Group Plus or above subscription. This is Max Rock with multifamilygeeks.com. I'm a real estate investor and educator with a background in engineering and business. If you want to find out more about the Geek Group, then find us at multifamilygeeks.com. Please like this video and subscribe. And I'm supposed to point right there and say subscribe right there. Let me give you a second to do it. Please do so. Please and thank you. And we totally appreciate it. And if you're willing, click the bell so that you'll be notified when new videos come out. Thank you so much, you guys. So book rating. I like to get to this right off the bat so you know what I think about this book. The book I'm reading is Traction by Gino Wickman. It's a famous book. I've read it a lot of times, and I think this is a must read. So I have 3 ratings. I've got must read, a good read, and don't read. Okay. This one is a must read. Why? The book explains a simple yet powerful management system for a small business that you or I can self-implement. And even when a professional implementer is required, they are quite inexpensive. And for me, that's a 50 to 100K per year. And I'll explain the context of why I think that's inexpensive right here, right next. So you can hire for the Traction system in the book, Traction by Gino Wickman, you can hire a professional implementer to help your small business implement this business management system. They want to see your company $1 to $5 million a year in revenue, in business revenue. They want to see the company 25 or more employees. And the charge for the implementer is about 50 to 100K per year. It's 5 to 10K per day, and there's 10 days a year basically are required. So the context is, if the business is so small, like my business, right, which is smaller than these right now, then you're going to self-implement. But once you hit 1 to 5 million a year, and probably up around, it's going to be more beneficial as you get up more around the 5 million plus, and you start to go above that, and you have 25 plus employees, then this management system really kicks in and becomes worthwhile, more worthwhile. And therefore 50 to 100K to have an implementer come in at that size business is really a small amount of money to have a professional come in and help you implement the system. Okay. So we're talking about self-implementation if you're a small company. If not, you're a larger one, and then you're going to hire an implementer, and they're going to walk you through the following steps. And this is going to be a brief review. All right. Self-implementing means that you're trying to remain as pure to the system as you can. Okay. They've defined a system with vocabulary and parts of it that are, if you leave some of the parts out, it doesn't work as well. If you start to mix in other parts of different management structures, they feel it doesn't work as well. So they like the idea of pure, right? Study Traction book and use in the process. We bring the Traction book to our meetings every time. We'll open up to the pages for different, whether it be meeting agendas, we'll look at what they say, and we'll try to stick to the book and just follow it. Sometimes we'll have an argument about what we should do. And in that case, if we can figure it out from the book, fine. If not, we'll just make a decision to move on. So there also is something, they have a base camp, which is sort of a subscription online service they have, which has all of the tools in it. The link is in here. It's at eosworldwide.com. You can go there and look into that. It's about $500 to $750 a month. Again, if your business is anywhere near $1 million to $5 million a year in revenues, then $500 to $750 a month is no problem for you, and it'll be worth every penny. Otherwise, you got to sit around and try to recreate their tools, and it's not even worth it. Just go and get that base camp subscription. All right, the 6 key components of your business. They break the business down into 6 key components. There's other management systems out there, like the I'm thinking of the Rockefeller letters, where they used fewer. I think they use 4 components to theirs, but it's all basically the same idea. Here they are: people, process, vision, data, issues, and traction. Right? Those are the 6 key components of business. And they're telling you no matter how many problems you have in your business, everything comes down to those 6. So you can sleep better at night. Just look at the 6 and figure out how to make each one improve up to a percentage of 80% or better. All right. 5 positions within your company. The Traction by Gino Wickman preaches that in every business you have 5 positions. You have a visionary, then you have an integrator, you have a marketing manager, an operations manager, and a finance manager. And if you think of the structure, the visionary is up here, then the integrator is underneath the visionary. And then the three components, those three function components of marketing, operations, and finance are under the integrator. So the visionary is thinking about, where's this business going to go? And oftentimes they aren't very good at sort of wrangling the business. Then you have the integrator, and they're really good at wrangling the business. In fact, they're in charge of keeping those three basic functional components of the business integrated, right? So you might think of the visionary as the CEO. You might think of the integrator as the COO, the Chief Operating Officer, and then you have your marketing, operations, and finance, right? And anytime anybody starts saying which one of those is more important, there's no answer to that. They're all equally important, and you must develop them and have the right people in those positions that are a values match and they GWC it, and we'll talk about that in 1 minute here. They give you tools for each of the 6 key components of the business. For people, they give you values matching and an accountability chart, okay? For process, they deal with core processes, very similar if you're using some of the others, like the Rockefeller Letters uses core processes, same thing. They give you a VTO for vision, a vision traction organizer, just like a lot of the other methods. You're mapping out a 1-year, 3-year, and 10-year plan. You're looking at the purpose of the business. You're defining the values. That all goes into the vision of the business and goes on that document. And then you've got data. You've got a scorecard that you follow each week where you're tracking the weekly metrics of what it is that drives your business. You're talking about issues. Every business has things that come up that must be solved. And now you're going to go through the IDS process. It's a very specific process for solving problems once and for all. And you have them out right there. There's none of this lingering of problems in the business. You just solve them. It's the IDS process. And then you have the traction. Traction is the idea of how do you stay on track? How do you keep this thing running and keep marching forward, right? One small step at a time. The L10 is their weekly meeting. There's a quarterly agenda for quarterly meetings. And there's an annual meeting and an agenda, all in the book Traction by Gino Wickman. It's all on separate pages. We use it when we get together for those meetings to self-implement. We just go to those pages. We run through the agenda, and it takes us the amount of time it takes us to do. So how to start self-implementing. So if you have a small business, step number 1, I would recommend is start holding L10 weekly 90-minute meetings. Follow the meeting agenda and traction. And the rules for the L10 are simple. Start them the same time every week, on time, end them on time every week. They're 90 minutes and follow the agenda. And it really gets your business in a rhythm. You have your 5 key people from that admin team on one call. If your business is big enough to have divisions under the operations, then they would have their own weekly L10 meetings within those, with one person then sitting in the above L10 meeting. This is the total of all meetings. You don't have meetings beside this. You have a 90-minute meeting once a week. Select the 5 people that you feel fit the positions above. So look at your business, look at the people in your business, and start to figure out who's the visionary, who's the integrator, who's the marketing manager, who's the ops manager, and the finance manager. If you only have 2 people in your company, then put your name next to multiple items, right? Because you're doing the work. If there's only 2 people here, somebody's going to be doing the work of 3 people possibly, and somebody doing the work of 2 people. That's the downside of a really small business with only 2 people in it. There's really not enough people to cover all the work that needs to be done. Okay. Next, hold your first annual meeting. You set your values and you start to values match that admin team, and you think about GWC. What is GWC? Well, so first, values. There's a system for values matching. It's in the book. Follow their process, and there's other videos I've done on how to values match people. GWC is does the person, even if they're a values match, do they get the job? Do they want the job? And do they have the capacity to do it? And that's an open conversation among the people on the team. And that helps you determine who should be sitting on that team and who should be possibly replaced over time. Hold quarterly meetings according to the agenda, follow those, and pursue continual improvement. If you're self-implementing, just try to follow the book on an ongoing basis and keep going back to it. And if everybody on the team is in on the process, then you're going to slowly but surely get better over time. So when it comes to Traction by Gino Wickman, it's a management structure where you might go, this sounds really simple. There's weekly meetings, quarterly meetings, and annual meetings, and you're working on the 6 key components of your business. It's true. It really is simple. But if you start getting 5 or more people in a business together, it is hard to keep everybody on the same page, and that's the strength of the system. So don't reinvent the wheel. A lot of people will go out and say, I'll just design my own management system, and I don't know why you would. Just buy the $12 book from Amazon and start to implement it. Don't reinvent the wheel. Use the traction system the best you can. So for us, I've been in companies that have hired professional implementers to come in, changed the whole structure of the business according to EOS, and we loved it. The Traction book by Gino Wickman changed everything and made things better and allowed the companies to start to grow. In my own businesses with small, just a few people, it's the system that has allowed us to stay together. And in a lot of cases, we probably would have broken up a lot sooner if we hadn't had this system. Okay, so Traction by Gino Wickman. It's a must read to me. I hope it helps, and I hope this review helps you also. Thanks for listening.